Hello and welcome back to Qa'Rajh Team Racing Nitro-Fueled. We are on the bonus tracks and the Nitro Kart tracks. So, let's jump right into it with Clockwork Wumpa. And let's get ourselves a random character. See who it is. Baby Entropy in what appears to be a hollowed out can. Alright. I have stated my mind about the baby characters. I think they are a sign that the team making the characters have run out of creative ideas. And in that case, I would say it's better to hold yourself back, not adding a new character rather than adding a baby character, because that is, first off, is unoriginal. Secondly, why? It doesn't... Obviously, Qa'Rajh Team Racing isn't exactly big on lore in terms of the Crash Bandicoot universe, but still, why do we need Crash, Coco, Entropy, and Cortex as baby playable characters? Make the baby a skin to the original character, and I'd be sort of, that's okay, I mean... But the baby characters, no. This is actually one of my favorite of the added tracks. The feeling is a little weird to it, but I like how the overall track feels. So you can go over those cops. I will do that next round. This is also, at least from the first one, to introduce on-track traps. If you were to hit that exclamation mark, the floor would come out in the center and hit the cog. And you'd essentially fall in if you drove through it. I made that mistake a couple of times the first time I played through this track. So technically there are two shortcuts in this. You have the cogs, and then you have the track which I rode on top of, to the left of the actual track. So let's go over the cogs this time. You can fall in, so a little precaution is in order, but you should be fine. Open the track, and it's not one that you sort of open for the sake of... If you do open it for the sake of taking out someone who's right behind you, you have to have some pretty good reactions, as it opens up very quickly and covers a large part of the track. So yeah, definitely worth taking in. Also, if you drive into those flat spinning cogs, you die. No second way about it. I thought it would just sort of stop you and try to push you forward, but no, you actually die. Okay. Oh, what? I hit my own beaker. How annoying. Alright. I really like the vibe that this track is going for it. And it got some sweet background music too. It includes the bells without being Christmassy, and that's, I mean, that's a pretty good achievement. Also a bit longer track than you actually think, but... Oh, yeah, well, it's the first time I have driven anything with baby Entropy. And unless it comes up as a random choice, I don't think I will be doing that much. Right, on to the next level. which I can't. Android Alley. Alright, randomizer, get the baby out of here. Please don't give me another baby. Ah, Hunter. That's an okay character. His inclusion is totally based on the fact that they included a couple of Spyro characters. They also didn't include a couple of Spyro characters, which I would say some of them are definitely more iconic than others, but well, Hunter was one of those that got in, like it or not. I don't really have a feeling for or against it. I have not really played the Spyro games that much. I don't know. It just never spoke to me, really. I don't mind them, but yeah, not enough for me to want to buy them. Right, so let's do a flyby. That train will mess up your day. So there's a bit of everything here. I think this is the home track of Qa'Rajh, the way too human-voiced robot who's not entirely sure what he wants to be. Yeah, so that's what the train does. Oh, Qa'Rajh is there. Well, what do you know? No surprise if it's his home track. That's random though, so... And it doesn't mean that he will be the best at this track. Ooh. And the shortcut here is also obvious. Right here. You see the broken barrier, and that's where you want to go. Obviously, you want to complete the jump, not like I did, and miss it the second one. This track actually I like, because it has that future vibe, but it doesn't have the grim future vibe that a lot of these tracks regarding technology tends to do. It has a feeling of, this is going to be a weird throw out, but the first Ratchet and Clank game on the planet of Metropolis. It has the same vibe to it, and I really like that game. I'll actually be looking out. I don't think that Ratchet and Clank would be a good let's play series of videos for me. It would be more because, well, I like the game. But yeah, the first Ratchet and Clank games was actually it wasn't even the full game. I got it as a PlayStation 2 demo where only Metropolis and Blackwater was available, and obviously there's a lot more to the game than just those two places, but that demo did what I think it was supposed to do, which was to entice me into getting the game. So I got it sometime later for, I think actually first for PlayStation 3, and unfortunately it was a game that I borrowed, so it was not something that I was able to keep, sadly. But yeah, the Ratchet and Clank games are definitely right up my alley. The same sort of genre as Crash, but with a slightly more action-based vibe. And a lot less platforming, something that I'm definitely good at. Not good at, sorry. Not sure what would... not sure what would happen if you were to go through that portal where the train goes through, but 133 for one track. It's not bad. Right. Track number 2. So in the last video I spoke about that Inferno Island was one of my sort of meh kind of tracks. And Android Alley and Clockwork Vampire are definitely some of my favorites. Well, this is a fun one. Electron Avenue. This one has a spacey vibe to it, sort of neonish. We'll be getting Komodo Joe this time in the hollowed out. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a soup can or barrel. I like those wheels though. That's a neat feature. This track is long, but it also focuses on speed. It also, the Nitro Kart tracks also feature something that was not a part of the, well, not as big, a part of the regular tracks, which is traps that you can activate. Parts of the track that change once you hit a certain item. In this case, an exclamation crate. The traps otherwise are normally bound to the track and sort of either happening or not happening. But the feature of being able to change, Golden Wumper again. That one last time. So yeah, if you hit the oh well, I already got the Wumper. This is one of the tracks that I like. It has a good vibe and it feels fast to drive on it. Whoop. Change the course and get the Wumper. Yeah. And so this track, pretty easy to avoid. I can do the same twice, also because it was fitting with my slide. There is, however, one more of those on this track, and that one is going to pull a fast one on you if you think you can just jump it without issue. Fairly tight corner. But yeah, this one I feel have sort of got the idea of both speed and vibe at the same time, which is a very important mix for a race kart game. Here you have it, the second one. And that's one lap. On this difficulty, the AI does not actively go for activation of those exclamation mark. However, they do activate this one because the exclamation crate is in some of their driving lanes, which means that they will naturally be driving through it. At least unless disturbed not to. The driving lanes are more complex the higher difficulty the game is on, obviously making it harder to predict where each driver is going to go if you're looking to, for example, take out a certain number. So placement of things behind you is definitely a little more tricky. The fact that they also are more aggressive in terms of firing stuff at you, sort of fighting for the first place, means that it is definitely a real step up, which is also why I am never ever going to be good enough to play it on more than medium. And I'm okay with that. I'm enjoying this game and, well, I'm not playing it competitively anyway. I like how his... What would that be a dress? No, I don't think so. Whoop. Okay, so no one has driven there. That also tells you, because how narrow that place is, you really get an idea for where people's driving lanes are. But yeah, the driving lanes are more likely to change on a harder difficulty, as there will be more fighting for positions among the other racers. The fact that this track also starts off with a huge drop and following power boost is also part of what makes this one interesting. Normally they start with either a fairly straight course or maybe a turn to get positions mixed up. This one pretty much gives you a power boost and just drops you straight on into the track.
The victory was mine from the beginning.
360. Nice! Right, on to the last track of this video. Deep sea driving. Alright, so let's see who we will be racing as. Qa'Rajh, who looks like he barely can't breathe. Sure, his fur does look nice, but the character, not so much. He looked better in the Insane Trilogy game, and he definitely looked better in Crash Bash. Perhaps that was because less polygons and it was more simple, but if he had the same design that just smoothed out a bit, and with the fur physics that he has now, I think he would make for a more compelling design rather than this now. I think that's part of the reason why I dislike the new style they've given Rillaroo as well. Well, it's hard to say, it just sort of irks me. Right, let's see what we're dealing with. Those tentacles might lure you in to think that they're dangerous. As a hint, they're not. There's something else that is, though. It's really just a feature. Here's one of the traps though that will hurt you. And a shortcut coming up right here. Oh, and I got a crit as well. Lovely. Also, you don't want to hit those red things on top. All the giant blades that not the most complex tracks, despite it wanting to look like it is, but it's definitely a track that has some... What? I definitely dodged that. Oh well. Game says no. Oh, there was an eye up there. Was there a Goomba crate back there? Oh, I think there might have been. What? The actual... Oh, I hit my own Nitro crate. Ha! Well, what do you know? Let's place down another one. Hit one, place one. Par for par. Alright, we'll not take the shortcut this time. Doesn't matter all that much, it's not that great of a shortcut, but Yep, there sure was a Wumpa crate up there. You'd have to be turning crazily sharp to get that though. If you're turning that sharp on this track, well, you're not really getting a lot of speed through that tube. Yeah, he looks like he can't breathe. Right, well that has been it for this episode. In the next one we shall tackle 4 more tracks. So, until then, take care.